Hi, welcome back to Poetry Lockdown, day 225. And I just found out, because I was on Twitter earlier today, that today, October 30th, is Fyodor Dostoevsky's birthday. And I woke up this morning and I put on this t-shirt. I didn't even know. Look at this. My wife gave it to me for my birthday. It says in Russian, "Beauty will save the world." Something one of Dostoevsky's characters, Prince Mishkin, said in his novel The Idiot. So I celebrate you, Dostoevsky. I think this poem that I'm going to share is very fitting for a Dostoevsky B-Day. So this poem is by Hart, an American poet. I believe he wrote from Brooklyn, New York a lot. He's got a great poem about the Brooklyn Bridge. But I've never read this poem before. But I looked at it this morning and it just floored me with its beauty. So I'm going to read the poem and just talk about why I love it. Happy Friday. Hart Crane, my grandmother's love letters. There are no stars tonight, but those of memory. Yet how much room for memory there is in the loose girdle of soft rain. There is even room enough for the letters of my mother's mother, Elizabeth, that have been pressed so long into a corner of the roof that they are brown and soft and liable to melt as snow. Over the greatness of such space, steps must be gentle. It is all hung by an invisible white hair. It trembles as birch limbs webbing the air. And I ask myself, are your fingers long enough to play old keys that are but echoes? Is the silence strong enough to carry back the music to its source and back to you again, as though to her? Yet I would lead my grandmother by the hand through much of what she would not understand. And so I stumble, and the rain continues on the roof with such a sound of gentle, pitying laughter. That was Hart Crane, my grandmother's love letters. So, I've talked a number of times in these Poetry Lockdown videos about, that moment in the poem where it seems like something shifts, something turns. And for me, that happens pretty late. I love that the poet, the speaker of the poem anyways, is kind of like hesitating on the edge of like these letters. They seem so fragile. They're as brown and soft and liable to melt as snow. And the poet says, over the greatness of such space, steps must be gentle. So there's this incredible reverence for the act of looking at the love letter of a grandparent. My goodness. And then the poet asked himself these questions, right? Can I do it? Can I kind of re-engage with this memory from the past? And that ultimately is audacious enough to do that. And I feel like the turning point for me, the lines that I love are the closing lines. Yet I would lead my grandmother by the hand through much of what she would not understand. Wow, that's an audacious thing to say as the poet, understanding more than the person who wrote the love letters. And so I stumble, and the rain continues on the roof with such a sound of gently pitying laughter. I think I just love the audacity of that statement. Like, yes, I'm going to lead you through something you wouldn't even understand, which I think sometimes a poet has to kind of have that crazy confidence. And I like that's here, and also an acknowledgement of the stumble, because I think so much of what is great in literature is also kind of like a misread or a misunderstanding or a mistake. And if you don't take that risk, you don't make those big mistakes, you don't create the beautiful work of literature. So I think that's amazing. And I mean, how fitting for Dostoevsky's birthday. I mean, this was a guy who could write beautifully and terribly at the same time, and about beautiful and terrible people. So I think he would appreciate the stumble that Hart Crane embedded into this poem. It's my 2 cents on that. I hope you have a great weekend, a good Friday, happy Halloween, All Saints Day, all of this. I hope you've enjoyed the honoring of ancestors that I've tried to weave into the October poems. Stick with the Poetry Lockdown for November. Have a great weekend. Peace to you.